Hey guys, how are we doing? There's this incredible piece from the Vilna Gaon and the great book by Aaron Feldman, The Juggler and the King. And over there it talks about all of the Agadata. It talks about all these incredible stories, some from Baba Basra, others from Masechet Bechorot. And the Gemara from Baba Basra says like this. It says that there was once a frog the size of the city of Hegronia. How big is the size of the city of Hegronia? 60 houses. And a snake, a serpent, came along and swallowed up the frog. And then a raven came along and ate up the snake. Then it sat on a tree. Says Rabbi Barchana, imagine how strong that tree was. I mean, it's holding this massive frog the size of a city, which was swallowed by a snake, which now was eaten by a raven, and now this raven is sitting on top of this tree. And then a certain Amorah came along, a rabbi came and said that I wouldn't have believed it, but I saw it with my own eyes. Now, what's pshat in this? An amazing thing. Says the Vilna Gaon to explain. He tells us that the frog, well, it's a mashal, really, and that the frog is likened to a Talmid Chacham, because the same way a frog gives forth its voice day and night. It's the only creature in the world that does that, day and night, giving forth its voice. So too, that tzaddikim, v'yita bo yom v'layla, rabbis learn day and night. And then, the thing about this rabbi, though, is how big was that frog? It was the size of 60 houses. 60 houses, he explains to us, is actually all the 60 different seder of Masechtot that you have. So he knew everything, this rabbi, and it was a city. A city means that he had it misudar, he had it all clear, it was something that he had perfectly. And it says that when I go on, the snake comes along, what do you do? How do you grab this rabbi to take him away from his learning? The snake. And he explains to us that the snake over here is the concept of money. He's worried about his bills. He's worried that he can't take the next step in the Torah he wants to teach, because he just can't do what he needs to do, because he's always constantly afraid, how am I paying my rent? How am I going to ever be able to afford chatuna for my children? All these different things. So when the snake swallows him, the fear that this tzaddik has is the fear of money. And it's something that completely paralyzes him. He can't move. Comes along the raven, and it swallows up the snake. The raven, Hanoten lechem lare'evim, like it tells us we read in Pesukei the Zimra from Tehillim, that it's an amazing thing. The baby raven is one in which Hashem actually, Gemara tells us that its mother leaves it, the babies are crying, and Hashem flies insects into the baby's mouth. Incredible. The raven is what shows us that Hashem, when those babies cry out to him, food flies right, and Hashem takes care of it. So the raven comes and eats up the snake. What that means is that Hashem will go and take care. He'll fly in food into that baby. How? It goes, the raven sits on a tree. The tree, the tree is a tree of life. It's the power in which it holds up. It is the financial stay for that Talmid Chacham, for that rabbi who just doesn't know where it's going to come from. Don't worry, there are supporters. There are those who will take care of you. There are those who will be the foundation for you, to keep you, to prop up your Torah, to keep on learning. Ultimately, the Amorah came along and said, if I didn't see it, I want to believe it, because the town that he came from, they didn't support the rabbis as much. I'm telling you all this because, Baruch Hashem, the world helps out to support Torah. And personally, I've been teaching now on Torah. Anytime I had the zechut to be able to connect with you, to be able to connect to so many for all these years now. But I live in Los Angeles, and it's very, very expensive to live over here. I run in my organization called Chazak LA, and we reach out to hundreds of people. We recently opened up a center down in the valley of LA, which there's such a demand now of Torah. It's incredible, but I have to hire more rabbis to learn what the guys do right now, because it's just too much. Up here in the city, every single night I'm giving another shiur. Every single day there are more people who want to meet, more people want to be affected, more events that we have to make. I want to hire on another guy to keep on. Like we want to build so much. If you were living here in Los Angeles, be able to see the fire of Torah that's happening over here. And I need people to be machzikim ba, to be machzik the Torah that we're trying to give off. It's an incredible thing, you know. I went through, a little secret, I went through all of my emails because we're running a fundraiser now. I went through all of my emails from the past few years of people who've reached out to me personally to ask questions from Torah Anytime, because my email's up on Torah Anytime. And it's well over 1,000. Do you understand that? Well over 1,000 people have reached out personally to ask advice, questions, to say thank you for your shiur, and I believe I've tried to respond to almost all, if not all. It's something that, Baruch Hashem, it takes out hours, but it's my greatest joy. But to continue this, to be able to keep on going. So I have a fundraiser now. I ran it yesterday. I wasn't going to put this up, but I'm in my last few hours now, and I want to push it through to the end. This is money that's needed to be able to pay just, basic bills and to be able to expand, to keep on going. So thank you very much for Torah Anytime for allowing me to put this up, and ultimately for you. We are looking at Charity Extra, CHARITYEXTRA, charityextra.com /Chazak LA, CHAZAK LA / you'll see Ari and Naomi Bensoussan. You'll see my name over there. And when you get there, just go ahead and give me whatever you can. Please, I'm asking you, ma'aser, anything that you could. It will be such a huge help. I want to put out more content. I want to keep on teaching as much as I can without having to think about all the other things that are going on. Baruch Hashem, we've been able to keep the Torah going strong here on Torah Anytime. And if you ever reached out to me, and even if you didn't, but you want to, I would love to hear from you. So let's just keep this strong. Thank you so, so much. I have so much akras type to Torah Anytime. And of course, to you guys who are learning from the Torah, let's be an Eitz Chaim L'Machazik and Ba together to be able to reach out to all those neshamot over here in Los Angeles and around the world to bring them closer to the Eibishter. Amen va'amen. Thank you.